is a Financial Friday, and who better to chat with to get some of our financial advice than Bill Levitt. And I love having Bill on the show, and we are talking Bridgelight Financial Advisors, of course. Bill, how are you?
Good morning, Melissa. I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am good. I can't believe that we are just weeks away from the general election. In fact, Monday is the start of early voting, first time in Connecticut's history to have early voting for a general election. And I'm sure you've gotten calls about this, Bill, but many people concerned about how the election will impact the financial markets. What can you say about that?
It is, and here it is, right around the corner. It came fast, and so there is a lot of concern from people about different aspects of what a presidential race can do in terms of their finances and money. And one of those things is how does it impact my 401k, the growth of my money, the financial markets.
Let's start there. Actually, can we start with the 401ks? I mean, we'll break this down kind of section by section.
Absolutely. So it can cause market volatility, meaning that we can see the financial markets, come up and down during this period of time if there's a transition and there may be uncertainty. But history shows that financial markets in the United States really pay attention to other factors, such as corporate earnings and economic growth and inflation and interest rates. So over a period of time, data shows going back to the early 1900s that on average, the market does well in an election year and typically into the new incoming president. So the best thing to do is for people to stick to a good plan, save, put away, contribute, and keep putting money into the retirement savings for the future.
It's like my therapist always tells me, Bill, which is that we only have control over so many things, which is not a lot. But in this situation, you're so right. People stress about which way is the election going to go? What is it going to mean? And, at the end of the day, we have no control. We have no control over what legislation is going to pass. We have no control over how markets are going to react on a day-to-day basis. But what we do have control over is having a plan and working with a financial advisor, much like Bridgelight Financial Advisors. So what about IRAs?
Well, they fall in the same category as
the
401ks.
Okay.
401ks, IRAs, 403bs, or any other kind of retirement savings, they really fall into the same category in terms of what I said.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. The most important thing you can do is control your own personal financial world. And have a solid plan, stick to that plan, make adjustments to it, and if you need help, get the right guidance to do so.
But Bill Levitt, how do you have a financial plan in place? How do you cross the T's and dot the I's when you have no idea if you're going to have more taxes, right? I mean, how do we do that?
Well, the second thing that has a huge impact on change in the presidential race is policy, economic policy, and policy of our government, right? And taxes is a huge piece. I mean, taxes is one of the biggest expenses that any of us are ever going to pay throughout our lifetime. In a little over a year, the current tax bill that we live under, that President Trump put in place, is going to sunset. And under the current law is that all our tax rates are going up. So you're going to see the increase in taxation and a drop in standard deduction, and I think Americans are going to have a big shock. And so taxes are a big part of planning for income taxes, but also taxation in the future on your retirement savings. And they passed the recent laws, which you and I have talked about, that actually have a big impact on taxation in retirement in the years where you're actually taking money out. And people need to understand these rules and how to adjust so they reduce taxation.
Okay. So regardless of how much, because the taxes are going to go up, essentially, regardless of that, we can plan accordingly to adjust to that, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can't. You just have to get enough knowledge and guidance and help to be able to do it. There's ways to do it. We help client families every day to achieve exactly what we just talked about. And so this is coming. And the proposals right now are Kamala Harris is proposing a tax increase on anyone earning over $400,000 a year, and a number of other tax increases. Trump is proposing that he wants to extend this current tax bill we live under, which actually is one of the best tax bills that we've had in my opinion, for a generation. So regardless of which way it goes, you have to plan for that particular situation and adjust to it and not just, go through it willy-nilly.
And again, Bill Levitt is here from Bridgelight Financial Advisors for our Financial Friday. And what about, you had mentioned growing government debt and spending. That inevitably, regardless of who goes into office, is also, we're looking at the astronomical amount of spending we're using, on things like these catastrophic hurricanes, what's happening overseas with different wars. So how do you take that into consideration as well, Bill, the fiscal policies?
Well, we have a fiscal issue in this country, right? We spend more than we take in, and it's about managing the budget of this country. And I think that's a big issue in terms of that, because the government has spent trillions of dollars since the COVID. They printed most of it. It caused a lot of the inflation that we're in, and our government debt is at a historic level right now. And the real impact is on the future generation, on our children, and the future generations of our kids. So this is something that Americans really need to push on our legislatures to really address, because it's a growing and mounting problem that continues.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if people want more information, Bill, what would be your advice if they want to work with you or one of your agents at Bridgelight Financial Advisors?
Yeah, you can just come up to our website, bridgelightadvisors.com, and set a 15-minute a meeting with one of our advisors, or just call our office at 203-795-7080, and we'd love to help.
We so appreciate you, Bill Levitt, again, and your whole team at Bridgelight Financial Advisors. The website, again, bridgelightadvisors.com, and we will be in touch very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Melissa. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Let's